Welcome to Your Thoughts, Your Reality with Michael Cole, the podcast that shines a compassionate light on the journey of veterans battling through life's challenges. Michael is a dual elite certified neuroencoding specialist in coaching and keynote training presentations, dedicated to guiding military veterans as they navigate the intricate pathways of post-deployment life. Join him as we delve into the profound realm of neuroencoding science, empowering these brave individuals to conquer universal battles, procrastination, self-doubt, fear, and more. Together, let's uncover the strength within you to re-engage with families and society, forging a new path forward.
Hello, everybody. Hey, so today I have a very special guest, a longtime friend. We've known each other for 20 years, I believe. It's been fantastic. So, Eran, again, dear friend, has military service, been in the military Air Force, 35 years clean and sober. He's a certified drug and alcohol counselor, and father and uncle served in World War II. So want to go through some great questions and really want to dive into this. But before we do, Eran, why don't you tell us a little more about yourself?
A little bit more about myself. So you named some of it. I have 35 years continuous sobriety. I am a certified drug and alcohol counselor. I am very active in my sobriety. I am a counselor at Recovery and Action Services in Diamond Springs. I did 4 years in the Air Force and got out. I got out because I had orders to Turkey and I was a drug addict. So I knew I was not going to make it out of Turkey.
That's a bad combination. That's a bad combination. Yes.
That's a bad combination. I'm in a long-term relationship, got kids, grandkids, and I got a great life. So, concerned, but I have a whole lot of life experience. I got education, but I think it's a life experience that makes it all.
Absolutely. So I, beg to differ, but I say you have plenty of expertise. So that life experience, same with me. I vulnerable here, but I didn't get through the first semester of high school. Went back and did my GED, without studying, just went and passed the test and all that fun stuff. But it wasn't education that got me where I am in life. It's learning from people. It's learning from mistakes and moving forward in life. So I think we both got lots of expertise. We've known each other a long time. Fantastic. So can you share a little bit about your background and what led you to join the Air Force in the first place?
Well, that's an interesting story.
I like interesting stories.
So yes, both my dad and my uncle were in World War II, but you need to know, very much like vets today, they don't talk about it.
Right.
Okay. So they came home and there wasn't any talking about it, which is sad because I think you can heal through doing that. However, that being said, I had a 4-year scholarship to Ohio State, and my girlfriend at the time committed suicide at Ohio State, and I couldn't go, and I was getting in trouble. I'm from a small town back in Ohio, a farming town, So I'm like, I turned the scholarship down, and I'm like, and I'm into my drugs, my alcohol, and I'm like, what am I going to do, man? I'm going to end up being a factory worker. And I went away. I said, I didn't even tell my parents. I left. In Ohio, you got to go to Kentucky to enlist. Overnight, enlisted, came back, told my mom, said, I'm leaving in a couple of weeks. She goes, where are you going? I said, I joined the Air Force.
Sure, that went over well.
Yeah, she's like, what? Yeah, and it was the best thing I could have done. It got me out of Ohio, which is, I love Ohio. I'd probably move back there today, but I was going nowhere, and I knew it, and I got a great job. It was 1980. The computers were just coming in. I was a computer programmer at NASA.
Oh, wow.
And so it was a great great experience for me. But you need to know I was in the depths of my drug addiction and alcoholism,
Right.
you know. And they worked with me, you know, sent me to rehab, all that kind of stuff. But it was a great experience for me.
Can I ask you a question? With that, first of all, I never knew that story. So we just need to get you on the podcast more to get some of those other stories I don't know somehow. That's fantastic. So when they sent you and worked with you, did it work the first time? And I know we're going, you know, kind of off what we talked about, but I'm curious, did it work the first time? And if not, what was it that made it? What was the leverage you got over yourself, reality, to make it stick, to be sober?
Oh yeah, no, it didn't work. It was my first rehab. It was like 1981, and from the time I got sober in 1989, I had been to 8 rehabs.
Got it.
So no, it did not work. And what was the sticking point? I am the foggiest idea. Okay, I had 9 drunk drivings, and this is the 80s. If it was today, I'd be in prison still.
Oh yeah.
You know, I had 9 drunk drivings, and in 1989, I got completely out of my brain, drunk, and that was my bottom. I can't tell you why that particular time. I just knew that spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, I was done.
I think that was it.
Yeah,
You found the leverage on yourself, saying, "I'm done, and I've got to make a
yeah,
life change."
yeah.
Wow. Congratulations, and congratulations on being 35 years sober. I mean, that's fantastic.
Again, no, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
That's
I'm
not
just.
funny.
I'm like,
I'm calling you. I'm calling you every day after this, just so you know, to check in with you. No,
no way.
no, I know that. I know that, and we've joked. And again, everybody, this is a dear friend. I mean, we've known each other for so many years, and the backbone to our relationship really is joking and comedy, right? I mean, just having fun with each other and appreciating who we are. So, um, this 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 man right here is not relapsing at birth. So how has your experience as certified drug and alcohol counselor shaped your approach to helping others?
You know, okay, so I come from the 12-step background. Okay,
Yes.
there's a lot of different programs out there. You just need to know is that where I come from. So I come from the 12-step fellowship. So I did a lot of sponsoring and a lot of working with people through Alcoholics Anonymous. And then well, we have a ranch, okay, and so all the kids went away, and we were kind of left with this ranch, and what are we going to do? And we started a transitional living up here, and that really was the catalyst because you know, people would come, they would go, they would drink, they would use, da 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 da. And then we started the outpatient program, and so me getting certified, it was it was the state of California that said I had to be certified,
Mhm.
okay, in order to do this, you know. But what I do with fellow alcoholics and addicts, I mean, they help me every day more than I think that I help them. You know, I got the life experience, I got the long-term sobriety, I got a little bit more in my toolkit, you know, but they're the ones that keep me alive. I'm telling
Mm, I
you
love that.
know. So what was the catalyst of it all? You know, I think I just needed to get certified, but I have no intentions of not working with people, you know, because oh my God, Mike, if I could teach about alcoholism in the schools or drug addiction in the schools, I think it would make so much difference. In fact, we in the process of actually developing a youth program up here in Placerville. And I'm so stoked because youth is my passion. You know, I taught at a juvenile hall facility, and it closed down a couple of years ago. But it was like, if you could just just plant the seed and water it, and
That's
yeah,
what it's
that's
all about.
yeah,
Literally. We have some colleagues and friends with the Neurocoding Institute specifically, and otherwise, but they work with kids, and they actually have a huge thing they're working on right now with the educational system, not in California specifically, but they're doing some major things, which is
yeah,
absolutely fantastic. If you can get the kids, how does that change their lives? How does that change their kids' lives? And it just continues generationally. So it's fantastic. Let's talk about that off camera.
okay,
When we're done, let's kind of go through some of that stuff. I may have some ideas for you.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for doing that. I mean, going and just helping people, and it makes us, and I relate significantly to what you're saying, because I'm the same. When you have that group, and I'm just going to use a podcast for instance. Yesterday afternoon, I was sitting here and I was going through all of the conversations and podcasts that I did of your, I think, number 26 or 27, I think. And I was just looking back, and I was just got in this mode of gratefulness, man, that it was like, holy crap. I started this to help other people, but how much has it helped me too?
Yeah,
The amazing conversations, the realizations. It's just a beautiful thing. So it's we get as much as we give, and it's a beautiful thing.
reciprocity.
Amen. Love it. So what specific challenges, I'm gonna flip this to veterans specifically, and their families for that matter, because we forget about we don't forget necessarily, but we don't talk about as much the unseen or the silent heroes of the families, right? And it affects military service, affects the whole unit. you know so whether it's mom and dad or uncle or brother is gone and they're missing them, and or the other way around, and then when they come back for the transition, everybody's changed, and then it's hard to sometimes reconnect. Not always, I'm not making a blanket statement, but I've seen it more often than not, that transition. That's why that's my focus. What do you see as far as drug and alcoholism with transitioning back into the family unit for both aspects? What do you see as some of the triggers, and or potentially, when you see the trigger even more so, where do they reach out? What's a great place to start when they say, hey man, I'm my camaraderie is gone, I'm by myself, I'm going to just drink tonight? Things like that. What do you see as triggers and or solutions?
Triggers, man, triggers. Such a precarious word because everything's a trigger. So you're coming home and you just don't fit in, and you done tours, you have that friendship over there, and then you get back home and you're lost. The problem is, I've worked with vets, and it's 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 not easy, and my heart goes out to them, truly. There are resources though, um, that are available that isn't just through the VA, but what do you do in the moment? It's like the very first thing is you got to acknowledge that you're in trouble here. Okay, I'm in trouble. I'm bored. I'm not the same person. It doesn't. You know, being able to acknowledge that something's going on, that's huge. That is the biggest part. I'm going to tell you, it's the biggest part. Is I'm in trouble. My children are being affected. My wife is being affected, and what do I do? You know, um, and there's a sadness that comes with coming home and trying to adjust back in. I gotta tell you, I didn't go back home. I knew I was going back to where I was going to go. So I stayed in California.
Mhm.
You know, but to be able to say I'm in trouble, I need help. And then tell someone. So we get that stuff going on in our brain, right? And and addiction is the disease of addiction lies in the brain. Okay, scientifically proven. Okay, and so then I feel like to be able to say to somebody and reach out and get help. Now, the reaching out part is not always easy.
Right.
We're kind of an arrogant people. Just is, it isn't just the person with the substance use disorder. It's, vets. Yeah, we're pretty arrogant, and we're taught not to talk and not to share. And how do I get past that? One, ego, because it truly is ego. I got mine. And then the other
Oh, I
one,
know.
yeah, and the other one is the being drilled into not share our feelings. Specifically men, but please, women are the same way. You know, they just have a little bit of a more of a softer heart, and that's my truth. No misogyny here, okay? Just and then to get past that stigma of being able to share, and and I, and I don't feel like talk therapy is always the way to go. Okay, because and so there's the other thing that I would go into is that there are a whole lot of other therapies that have worked for me where talk therapy does not. Okay, like I do brain spotting or no brain stopping, you know, um, and I do EMDR, and there are a lot of different types where I don't just have to sit there and talk.
Yeah. Can you
So
go into the brain stopping? What is that specifically?
it's really cool. Okay, so you're the neuro guy, not me. But what I do know
I'm
is that
curious.
our
I'm
brain
curious.
is
I'm curious, Aaron, if there's the same thing we do as a stop technique or other
okay.
techniques that I've
Okay,
done. That's
so
fine.
here you go.
Yeah.
So you know that your brain is full of highways, right?
Mhm.
Highways. Okay, neuro. So brain stopping is they do a pointer and they point to a wall. And then they say, and then you go here, how do you feel here? How do you feel here? And that pointer is moved. And then all of a sudden, you're at this spot and you go, oh my God, something's going on.
Mhm.
And it's some kind of a memory that comes in, right? And then you can talk about it and kind of process it out a little bit. And then from there, they move the pointer again and says, okay, how's this? How are you feeling? How's that work? And then you work on closing that neural pathway, that highway, right? It's worked for PTSD for me.
Fantastic. Yeah, and it's not the same. So thank you for talking about it. So it is somewhat similar in some aspects to EMDR.
It is.
Aspects. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
talk more about that again later and hear more about that. I'm not familiar with it that specifically, and would love to learn more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, it's a good thing. But there's a lot of different resources because we go in there and it's like if you got a great therapist, then they can work it, you know. And yet, be honest with you, there are therapists out there that aren't great,
Yep.
you know. So recognizing that in fact something's going on, find somebody to work through it with, right? Whether it's a therapist, whether it's a counselor, like in recovery services, whether it's a minister, a best friend, it doesn't matter, but you got to talk to somebody.
Absolutely, a mentor, a coach, any of those. But talk to somebody because when you don't talk, then it just gets worse.
Yes.
When you sit in your shit, as I call it,
Yeah.
pardon the French, but when you sit in it, it just starts to build and build and build, and it just gets worse. So, and again, that's your thoughts, your reality. So if you believe something, it's your reality. That's why you
Yeah.
see certain people from the same background. Some will, it's the definition of the experience that we give it, and that helps a lot with PTSD as well. When they change the definition of that experience, it changes the reality of it and has dramatic help for PTSD and other things like that. So
Yeah.
reach out. I'm going to go back to also what you said, conditioning for military. Everybody has that, I think, as human beings to some extent, but military condition, don't ask for help. Figure it out yourself. And I hear this over and over and over. It's the same story with everybody I talk to. You know, it's the same story. So when you're reaching out for help, It's not a weakness. It's one of the most courageous things you can do, literally, for yourself and for your family and your future family. So,
Right.
Great points. Thank you. Appreciate you bringing that stuff up, Eran. Fantastic. Can you discuss the importance of asking for help in the recovery process and how veterans can overcome the stigma associated with it? So I just want to kind of continue what we were just talking about. Any pointers or thoughts there as far as it's just a stigma? It's not necessarily reality that asking for help is a weakness.
Yeah, asking for help. But how do you really get through that? It is, Toltec talks about we're domesticated, right? And so, we've been told to not ask for help. We can do this. We can get through this. We're strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, strength is saying I'm in trouble. I need to change. I want to change. I need help. But yet, how do you really get through that? I really think you just get, God, this is terrible, but I don't have any magical answers except for just do. Just do. Just call someone. Just look, if you can't like actually go in someplace, a recovery center or VA or something, use the telephone, right? People on the other end of the telephone in our industry are very kind. How can I help you? How can and just kind of be soft, and they'll work with them. You know, I want people to be able to ask for help before it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're not addicted yet and they need help. Let us help you before you. It's called cross over the invisible line. That's before you cross into the actual substance use disorder, the disease of alcoholism or drug addiction. We can help you before you go there,
I love it.
but how do we get you there? How do we get you to say, I need help?
So can I add on to that a little bit? Thank you for what you said. So what if I'm going to give a tip, okay? You think you have a problem. You're concerned you have a problem. Start there. Reach out. Hey, this is what I'm going through. What do you think? You know? And I'm gonna give a tip here as well is if you are struggling to make that call or to reach out to someone or talk to your friend or whatever the case may be because you're afraid of that judgment. Okay? One of the 10 thieves of our dreams is judgment, fear of rejection, fear of failure. There's 10 of them. I'm not going to go through them all right now, but if you can just change your physiology, and what that means is stand up, put your shoulders back, take a deep breath, put a damn smile on your face, because when you do that, it releases all kinds of different hormones, and then just take that one action. Take the one action. Make the one call, send one text if that's easier, but take one action right then. And then pat yourself on the back, smile. It's called astitude. Get up and shake your ass. You cannot be upset, angry, or anything else if you have those hormones going through your body that they're saying, I did something good. I feel good. Same as eating chocolate, having sex. All those hormones are released when you're doing those things. And who doesn't like chocolate and sex? So if you can get yourself, I can't believe I just said that on here.
Yeah, I can't either.
But I did. Hey, it's all real here. And we're not editing things, FYI. But if you can take that second and get there, pat yourself on the back and celebrate you took one step, one action, guess what? The next step, the next action is going to get you further and it's going to be easier to do it because your brain's going to say, ooh, I liked it the first time. So it'll come easier. So again, change your physiology. Again, shoulders back, deep breath, stand up, do whatever you need to do to get yourself in a resourceful state for a second and take that action, celebrate it. Because the next one becomes easier and easier. It's called getting uncomfortable to be comfortable. Because guess what? How many times have you looked back in your life and you said, man, I can't believe I did that. And it's so easy now. It's because you got uncomfortable to be comfortable. The first podcast I did, the first time I did lives, I didn't do this stuff a year and a half ago or whatever it was. I never did this stuff. But it's comfortable now. because I've done it and I've celebrated, I've conditioned myself, which is what you guys need to do, like ladies, guys, whatever the case may be. You need to recondition yourself to your new life. And these are some simple tips. I just needed to get that out there, Aaron. Sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, that's good. Good stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. And thank you again for what you said. So what strategies would you recommend for veterans and their families who are struggling to kind of re-engage with the family and society after deployment? And that could be, like my friend, retired Lieutenant Colonel Tina Parker, it was 23 years. I mean, so it could be 2 years, it could be 23 years, it could be 40 years. What are some thoughts going around that, if you can? Just to kind of get those steps to re-engage.
We always forget about the families, and yet they're more impacted sometimes than the vet is. So okay, so I believe in like-minded. Okay, so get out there and there are so many different groups that you can get involved in. Okay, there are. The BA has all their groups. You need to sit down, you need to talk. But then in that process, you start to meet new friends on the outside. New friend has a wife. The wife is going to meet your wife. They got baseball teams that are started. They got bowling teams that are started. They have. I mean, you got to find like-minded people. Okay, whether that's in the drug addiction and alcohol, or that's just coming home and trying to reunify with your family and stuff. But we have to, human beings are pack animals. Okay, we're not meant to do life alone ever. Okay, so we have to find people that we can relate to and get back involved. And the only way that I know how to do it is one more time, just do. So yeah, hold your head up, walk out that door, go in there. And it's like, okay, so my son's an amputee, a recent amputee. And I'm like, dude, it's the same kind of principle. You got to go to a group. From that group, you're going to find resources, get involved in your wheelchair because he just got his leg, go out there and exercise. I don't care what you find, what you like to do, and you and your spouse like to do, or your family, right? And then get involved. Today is a crazy time in our life. I didn't have this when I was younger, but you have these things called apps. And there are so many apps, and this Facebook has groups, and it's like you can get involved. Just gotta do it.
Oh man, I love you. You're awesome. Oh, speaking of apps, hey, we're almost out of time here, so I just wanted to bring up on the top right-hand corner here is the blue QR code, everybody. If you're listening on the podcast forums later on and can't see the video, or scan the QR code, first of all, scan the QR code if you can. If not, empowerperformancestrategies.com. Again, empowerperformancestrategies.com. Free resources. I've written some free ebooks for veterans and their families. I've got a couple more coming out shortly. You teaser. And but there's 2 Facebook groups. We have one for veterans, one for families. Get in there and join a tribe, whether it be ours, just like Aaron was saying, and I'm just putting a bow on this with what Aaron was just saying. He brings up an amazing point. Get involved. Get active with people that are like-minded. Before I joined the Neuroencoding Institute, I mean, honestly, I was kind of lost for a little while, and I was struggling in life. And when I joined that tribe, that family, it changed everything. It changed everything. My wife, I remember one morning, or one day, I should say, just saying, "You're glowing. You're alive again." And that was pivotal for me. And it was such an amazing moment, the realization of I found one of my tribes, and you can have multiple. So find a tribe, find those people that you are like-minded with, and find people that raise you up, don't bring you down, and don't keep you at the same level. That is super important, especially the close ones, the ones that matter to you. So that's what I got. So Eran, this has been amazing. Thank you. Honestly, I've really appreciated the time. As humans, this is our most precious resource, right? Is time. We don't get it back. So thank you for spending this 30 minutes with us. It's been fantastic. Truly. Thank you.
Well, I was a nervous wreck, so thank you.
You did fantastic. You wouldn't even have known it. Wouldn't even known it. So if we can share 3 tips to get veterans and their families further faster.
I don't know about 3 tips, but this is what I can tell you. This one, I know that we made it sound easy today. It's not easy. Okay. So get involved. Okay. We have a something kind of like Michael was talking about. It's called fake it till you make it. Okay. So hold your head up, hold your shoulders back, and walk forward. Okay. And if you guys out there, anybody needs help, I'm going to tell you guys, you can get a hold of me. My business is called Recovery in Action. The number is 530-344-7633. Call. I'll help you out any way I can.
Amen,
Okay?
man. That's
You
beautiful.
can do it, guys. That's it.
That sounded like 3. Take the action. Call me. Do it.
There you go.
That's fantastic. All right, everybody. So again, thank you truly for the time and everybody for joining us. And we are out of here.
See you guys.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful journey of Your Thoughts, Your Reality podcast with your host, Michael Cole. We hope the conversation sparked some thoughts that resonate with you. To dive deeper into empowering your thoughts and enhancing your reality, visit empowerperformancestrategies.com. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality, so make them count. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating the reality you desire. Catch you on the next episode.